Hey, everybody, welcome to this Tuesday's Change the World Marketing Facebook Live. And today I'm going to be talking about planning your first funnel. And actually, it doesn't have to be your first funnel, it could be your next funnel if you already have one. And especially if you have a funnel that isn't working really well, this would be also a really good exercise. So I'm first going to start by defining what a funnel is. A funnel is a series of offers that come one after the other. And it's called a funnel because you usually go from something that's free to something that's low price to something that's a higher price. And you can get a lot of people into the free thing, and fewer people will buy the lower price thing, and even fewer people will buy the higher price thing. So it has the shape of a funnel. And you try to bring people from the top down to the bottom and out, out the bottom and into your measuring cup or whatever. So the first thing you need to think of for a successful funnel is what need you're going to solve for your target market. What problem are you going to solve? And you need to think about something that's called the customer journey. So, for me, for example, I have people who are focusing on building their list and people who are focusing on creating products or courses. There are different groups of people who are interested in having an online business but they're experts, and those are the people that I focus on, people who have knowledge and expertise that they want to get out to the world. I am focusing more on email marketing now, but I still help people who want to create products and courses. So each one of them has a customer journey. So if you want to do email marketing, your first part of the journey is always actually to do what I'm explaining to you right now, is to figure out who your target market is and what their need is. But then you need to start building your audience. So you start with a freebie and you start building your list, and only then will you start emailing people and having something to offer to them and make offers. That's kind of the journey. If you're working on creating an online product, again, you want to figure out what need you're solving, and then maybe start, and then also build your audience, and then maybe start with a table of contents and then build it up. You might start with something small and then have a bigger course afterwards, or start with a pilot, whatever it is. So people are in different kind of tracks, and they're also in different parts of that journey. So with your funnel, you need to take a track and then create a journey for them that's going to make sense, because the only way you get people to buy your upsell is if it's the next step on their journey, it's the next obvious thing. And you can, to some extent, reverse engineer this. So if your final thing is coaching, or your final thing is them taking buying an online course, what is it that could lead them to want to do that? You might pull out a little piece of it or a segment of it or whatever it is, like that. So that's the first thing, is that you need to figure out, what your topic is, what problem you're solving, and definitely write that down. And I do recommend doing some market research on that, asking people on social media, maybe your existing list, if this is something that they need. There are other ways to do market research as well, but it's always good. We're so close to our own ideas about what we think people need, but we have to make sure that they need it, and that what we're describing is in words that make them feel like they need it. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing the words. So you're going to start with your freebie. It's sometimes called a lead gen, meaning that it's to generate leads. Leads are potential clients or customers. I think it's a kind of technical, salesy corporate word, so I don't like the word lead. But anyway, so it's something for free. And that something for free could be a lot of different things. So often it's a PDF, but it could be a video or a series of videos. It could be like an email course where people get a series of emails. Now, whatever it is, whatever format it might be. So like a PDF or a series of emails or a video, could be audio as well. Whatever that is, it's going to be free. And so you have to make sure that it gives people a quick win, that solves something pressing right away. That helps them right away without giving them a whole big thing. So you don't want to put your whole course in your freebie. That's for sure. So you start with that. And then you're going to plan an upsell or a bump, and I'll explain in a minute what those are, the difference between an upsell and a bump. But you're going to plan those, and this is going to be something that they are going to pay for, but not expensive. Now, not expensive is a kind of vague word. It could be anywhere from $1 to maybe $99. Definitely wouldn't be above that. A kind of typical upsell it depends on your pricing and the kinds of things that you offer, and where you're going. So something like that. But what you would consider for your audience a low priced product. That would be the second thing. And this is going to give them more depth. So it might expand and elaborate on your freebie. It might take them a little next step on their journey. So, now that you've done this, you're ready for this, because this is the next step. And or another thing that it could be is, I told you what to do, but now I'm going to give you some templates or some checklists to make it easy for you to implement it. That's another way of bringing people along that journey. And so whatever it is, that's your low price product. And then after that, you're going to have an upsell to a higher price product, which could be coaching. So that's a service, not technically a product. Or it could be a mastermind or some group coaching that you have, or it could just be a course, your final big course where you kind of help people do everything that they want to do. Or it could just be like, again, the next step. So you tell them, let's say you're showing people how to write a book. So you're going to give them like the first steps of how to do research on the book, and maybe make a table of contents or something like that of their book. That might be your freebie. But the next thing is they have to start making it a reality. So you might give them a template for an ebook, or you might give them some information about promoting it, whatever it might be. And then finally, you might upsell them to a group course where you bring people along the process of writing a book together. And maybe or maybe not, you might include the marketing of it and so on like that. So those might be the different stages that you might have in this funnel. So how do you get people from one stage to the other in the funnel? Once you've decided what your funnel is, and you should write it down, and write down the prices for each one, and kind of be really clear in your mind. Write that down too, as to what problem it's solving, and why the upsell, the low priced upsell, is the next step for people, so that they'll be tempted to buy it, and then again for the higher priced product. And by the way, it's possible to have funnels that are more than 3 steps as well, but I'm keeping it simple here. So there are 2 things that you can do. One is called a bump and one is called an upsell. A bump is usually done for a product, not for a freebie. And the typical example is a McDonald's saying, would you like fries with that? So somebody orders a hamburger, and would you like fries with that? So it's like, before you pay, here's a little offer. And so it's right on the checkout page. Usually it's a little checkbox, and they add it on, and it's meant to be like a no-brainer because it's not that expensive. So for example, I have an ebook called How to Write and Sell an Ebook. And then my bump is a little checkbox that gives them a template to do that, and a cover, which they can, of course, customize however they want. But it just makes it really easy for them to pour their content into this existing template. So that's one concept. And the other concept is an upsell. So an upsell happens after people pay for it. So and so examples could be, and again, you could take that bump example that I gave you and make it into an upsell. You can kind of do it either way. I recommend adding bumps to certainly your low-priced products. And if your shopping cart lets you do it, even for freebies, because it's just an easy way to increase your income, actually, and people don't use them enough. But I want to talk about upsells. So depending on your shopping cart and your system that you use, you might have access to a whole upsell technology, so that what happens is when people buy, instead of going just to here's what you bought, they go automatically to another page that's another offer, and it just creates that funnel for you. There are lots of ways, lots of technologies that do this for you. There are things like ClickFunnels or lead pages. There are things like online platforms like Warrior Plus or JVZoo, but you can usually just do this with a regular shopping cart. I use Thrive Cart. I'll give you a link for that. They have a really cool one-time lifetime payment now, payment for it. So it's in the end, like after 2 years, it would be cheaper than almost anything else that you might use. So anyway, they do upsells as well. But you can also do upsells manually, and I'm going to explain to you how to do that. So you take your second product, which is your low-priced product, and you create a sales page for it. It's a completely new product. And then on the thank you page, so then when people buy, or when people get your freebie, because this is an upsell from a freebie, that's the freebie is your first stage, they go to a thank you page that says, thanks for requesting this, look for an email, and while you're waiting for that, I thought you might be interested in this. So on the thank you page is one place that you can put an upsell. And it's just basically a short sales page. You have a regular sales page, but this one is just either it links to the sales page, or it's like a short version of the sales page because it's a low price product, and then goes straight to checkout. So thank you page. Then in your product, in your freebie as well, you should also have an upsell. So you could put it at the end of it, but if you're a little worried, which you should be, I think, that people might not get to the end, you could put it, it's various places within your freebie there. And so that's the second place that you can upsell. And again, you just explain and you send them to the sales page. And then the last thing is, so when people get something, they get an email, and the email should have a link to a delivery page. But that's the first email of a series of autoresponders that people should get whenever they get your freebie, so that helps them to get to know you, helps them use the freebie better. Just the added value and added. It's a way of creating a relationship with people, and it really, first of all, those autoresponders are the most opened emails because people just requested something, and then it's the way that you get people to know, like, and trust you, to know your expertise, understand your authority that in your field. And to feel comfortable buying something else. So in those autoresponders is the third place where you can upsell. I usually do it about the third or the fourth autoresponder. The first one is just, here's what you requested, here's the link. And the second one might be some extra information about how to use it, or some little extra tip, extra free information. And again, here's the link. And then by the third one, you can say, if you were interested in that, you might find this useful as well, because it'll help you get more value out of it. So that's 3 kind of manual places that you can create an upsell, the next step of your funnel. So that is on the thank you page, in your the freebie itself, and in your autoresponders. And that's pretty powerful because they end up seeing it three times. So then you're going to go through the same process to go from your low price product to your higher price product or service. So again, whatever that low price product is, it can have in it an upsell, let's say to coaching or to a group coaching kind of thing, or whatever it might be. And again, when people buy, there's not always a thank you page there, but you could have it in the checkout, or you can just have it in the autoresponders. So products should also have autoresponders for the same reason. People get to know you, and people learn to know, like, and trust you, to respect that you have this expertise, and you can make offers there as well in that series of autoresponders. So that's basically your first funnel, or your next funnel, whatever it is. It's going to be a freebie, a low price product, a high price product. You have all these different options to bring people from one step to the other. and it's not hard to do at all. You don't need fancy software, although you can use software that automates it. I actually just use the manual method. I like because I just don't think that having an upsell right away is people don't like it. When you get something for free and then immediately there's another offer. So you can do that, but people don't often buy from that. So they need to get to know you a little bit better. So in the autoresponders and in the freebie itself, where they're reading about what you're saying, they're going, yeah, this is good information. Those are the times that people are more likely to upsell, to take that upsell offer and to buy from you. So I really like that three-pronged method of upsells. And it's just manual. It's just really easy to put it on there. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I will give you some links about funnels and Thrivecart. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.